Okay, sahlan wa sahlan mtazamaji mpendwa, na shukrani kubwa na za dhati sana kwa kusimama nami na hata kujiunga nami. Bado tuko kwenye taarifa ama uchambuzi kuhusu uchaguzi uliofanyika kule nchini Uganda, na kwa hakika nataka niwaeleze kwamba mambo yanazidi kuchacha na kushinda unga, kwa sababu mambo yanamwendea segemnege kwa rais aliyeteuliwa ambaye ni Yoweri Kaguta Museveni. So Ibrahim, Traore na viongozi wengine watoa warning kwa Museveni kwamba hicho kiti hakustahili kukimiliki na apeane kwa mstahiki wa hicho kiti. So angalia hii video kisha nitakuja kwa uchambuzi rasmi.
What is happening in Uganda today is not just politics. It is not just another election. It is not just a disagreement between political parties. What is happening in Uganda right now is a battle between truth and lies, a battle between the voice of the people and the power of dictatorship, a battle between democracy and tyranny. And at the center of this storm stands one man, Robert Kyagulanyi, popularly known as Bobi Wine. In the last few hours, Bobi Wine released a shocking new video that has shaken Uganda and shocked the world. The video shows Electoral Commission officials at a polling station in western Uganda, not counting votes, not verifying ballots, not doing their job. Instead, they are seen physically ticking ballot papers in favor of President Yoweri Museveni, one by one, ballot after ballot, all marked for Museveni. This is not an election. This is not democracy. This is organized crime happening in broad daylight. According to Bobi Wine, this is exactly what Museveni and his criminal system call an election. The video is clear, the evidence is undeniable, and the message from Bobi Wine is powerful. He said, "We campaigned. We voted. We tried to protect our vote. But the criminals arrested or abducted many of our agents and officials." These words are not just statements. They are a cry for justice. They are the voice of millions of Ugandans who feel robbed, cheated, and betrayed. Bobi Wine went further to say, the only recourse now is for the people of Uganda to reclaim their voice. And that is why he called this election a protest vote. A vote where the people turned out massively. A vote where citizens believed they could bring change. But a vote that was brutally stolen by those in power. Long before election day, the signs were already there. Opposition supporters were harassed. Journalists were intimidated. Rallies were blocked. Internet services were shut down. Security forces filled the streets. And yet, despite all this, the people still came out to vote. They stood in long lines. They waited for hours. They believed in the ballot box. But what they did not know was that the result had already been decided, not by the people, but by a corrupt system. Bobi Wine and his team deployed agents to polling stations across the country. Their job was simple: to monitor the vote and protect the will of the people. But many of those agents were arrested. Some were abducted. Others were chased away, leaving polling stations unprotected. And that is where the fraud happened. That is what this video now proves. Officials of the Electoral Commission, the very body meant to protect democracy, became the tools of election theft, ticking ballots, manufacturing results, destroying the true voice of Ugandans. This is why Bobi Wine has made a passionate appeal to the public. He asked Ugandans to keep sending in videos, to keep sharing evidence, to expose every single act of fraud that took place on the 15th. Because the truth must come out, and the world must see it. For more than 3 decades, Yoweri Museveni has ruled Uganda. Many young Ugandans today have never known another president. They were born under Museveni. They grew up under Museveni. And now they are adults under the same man. But Uganda has changed. A new generation has risen. A generation that wants jobs, that wants freedom, that wants real democracy. And Bobi Wine became the symbol of that hope. That is why the regime fears him. Not because he has weapons, not because he has an army, but because he has the people. The events of this election have shown one clear thing. The system in Uganda is broken, completely broken. When an election commission is seen openly rigging ballots, there is no democracy. When opposition agents are abducted, there is no rule of law. When the military decides the outcome instead of voters, there is no freedom. The international community has been watching. Human rights organizations have been raising alarms. Foreign governments have expressed concerns. But inside Uganda, the reality remains painful. Citizens feel powerless, voiceless, ignored. And yet, despite everything, Bobi Wine continues to speak. He continues to fight. He continues to call on Ugandans not to give up. He reminds them that power belongs to the people, not to dictators, not to stolen institutions, but to ordinary men and women who believe in a better future. This election was supposed to be about the future of Uganda, about jobs, education, healthcare, security, opportunity. Instead, it became another chapter in the long story of dictatorship, another stolen moment in Uganda's history. But this time, something is different. This time, the evidence is everywhere. Mobile phones, videos, eyewitnesses, social media. The truth cannot be hidden like before. And that is why this moment is so important. Bobi Wine has made it clear. The struggle is not over. The voice of the people will not be silenced. The fight for a free Uganda continues. What happens next will define the future of the country. Will Ugandans accept another stolen election? Or will they rise peacefully and reclaim their nation? That question now hangs over Kampala, over every town, every village, every home. The world is watching. Africa is watching. History is watching. And the people of Uganda are standing at a crossroads. This video released by Bobi Wine is more than just footage. It is a symbol of resistance, a symbol of courage, a symbol that the truth, no matter how buried, will always find a way to the surface. Museveni may control the army, he may control the police, he may control the Electoral Commission, but he does not control the hearts of the people. And in the end, it is the people who write history. Bobi Wine ended his message with a simple request. Please keep those videos coming in and all other evidence of the theft that took place on the 15th. Because the struggle for Uganda is not just his struggle, it is the struggle of every Ugandan who believes in justice, who believes in democracy, who believes in freedom. The story is not finished. The fight is not over. And the voice of Uganda will not be silenced.
To be a president, the Constitution says you must be mentally and physically fit. In America, the President Joe Biden was actually asked not to participate in elections on account of his age, 79. When you have an 80-year-old president who keeps making erratic decisions, Mr. Speaker, I want to implore this Parliament that we subject our president to, now that he's 80, to periodical mental and physical test, because that's a requirement of the Constitution. You can see her, but the Constitution says so. As a
Order, Dr. Roki.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. I have listened to my senior colleague, Honorable Semuji, who happens to be the MP in an area where I live. He is trying to insinuate that an elderly person at 80 years cannot steer this country, cannot reason. Now, Right Honorable Speaker, if America is saying people at 80 should be subjected to other medical tests, but our president has not shown any sign of failing. He has not shown any sign of failing to discharge his duties. So, is Honorable Semuju in order to insinuate that our president, who is experienced to lead this country, is he in order to insinuate that our president cannot lead this country? Thank you.
Mr. Speaker, I am saying this in good faith because the makers of this constitution had actually put an article that at 75 you can't be a president. I was not in the CA. And the president himself, you know, before he came here, I was a journalist. When we interviewed him, he said at 75 you are tired. Someone who doesn't even remember that there is no governor for the central bank. We need, and I'm just doing this in good faith, even for his health.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker and Honorable Ibrahim Semuju, for yielding the floor. From a medical standpoint, we have two types of aging. There is what we call chronological aging, which is a measure of a number of years, and what we call physiological aging, whereby you have seen people who are 60, but they are finished. So they are chronologically young, but biologically aged. And I want to speak as a medical professional that President Traore Museveni may have chronologically clocked 80 years, but he is biologically young. And yes, and the spirit and letter of the Constitution is that it is the voters, if he presents himself or any other aged person, it is up to the voters to assess whether you are energetic to lead them or not. Indeed, I know the Honorable Semuju is a Muslim, but I just want to quote from the Christian Bible. If you read in the book of Job, chapter 12, verse 12, it says, wisdom belongs to the aged, and understanding to the old. That's what the Bible says. So there is no problem with the age of President Traore Museveni. In any case, physiologically is very sound and able to lead. And indeed, there are many leaders who are above 80 in many countries. We can give you many examples. So, don't be worried. Do not be worried. If he offers himself, it is up to the voters. That's what the Constitution of Uganda says.
So, Honorable Semuju, to conclude. I want us to conclude.
I want to thank the Minister for information. He actually only confirms that we need to do a test. That was his submission, to establish whether chronologically or... So we need to do a test. But Mr. Speaker, I am saying this, I want to repeat in good faith. You know, when presidents age, you saw what happened to Zimbabwe. Even family members begin taking national decisions. You saw Grace Mugabe.
Procedure.
These days you have seen the president, his son.
Honorable Semuju, procedure.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. I'm raising under Rule 79. A member has been advised and even a quotation has been read to him from the Holy Book. But he has continuously engaged us and derailed us in repetitions. Okay? Which are actually not adding any value, Right Honourable Speaker and colleagues. Through you, Right Honourable Speaker, under this rule, I would like to move that the member no longer be heard. Thank you.
Honourable colleagues, we run this house on flexibility, okay? But let us not also overstretch that flexibility. Honourable, conclude. You are concluding. Conclude. Conclude.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I have never seen young people who want to be led by old people. And they take pride in it.
But now, Honourable, I told you to conclude you're opening doors.
Therefore, Mr. Speaker, since you are one of those who are approached to contribute cows and banana, I know you have more access than any member of this parliament. Kindly, on our behalf, make an amendment to do a simple thing. Just test if the president is mentally and physically okay.
Thank you
for your wonderful and very wonderful communication today, which includes the birth of President Yoweri Museveni, the birthday of President Yoweri Museveni. Mr. Speaker, together with the people of Busia, we join the rest of the country. And two, I want to appreciate all the statements that were made on that day. Although my friend, Honorable Krumira, is not agreeing that it is very worth it to celebrate the life of a president, moreover a honest president. We have President Arap Moi who died without us knowing his age. But he's a president who declared that he's 80 years. And Mr. Speaker, at the same time, in Busia culture, and we have a proverb saying that if you steal in the basket of an old man is a curse. When Honorable Chirumira was complaining, I remembered the words of our president when he said that at the age of 75, these people of Nupu Solo, he's 1 million votes. I don't know what really Kudelopu is thinking. Because if you steal from an old man of 75 years, you cannot wish him a good birthday. But as a country, we must agree that President Museveni is a gift to this country because of the stability and the peace he has brought in this country. And I think, and the development majorly, with what I've witnessed in Busia municipality, I believe he is still strong enough because we have seen younger people, although they have grown in the cities, in the ghettos, doing more mistakes than the elder. Thank you, Mr.
Honorable Rabshija.
Right, Honorable Speaker. Mine is a matter of national importance.
Okay, Honorable Hunda.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. I would advise all the younger and middle-aged MPs to learn from President Museveni. How can you live up to 80 years and you are still fit? I think he's a role model for us to learn from. Right Honorable Speaker, I was very disturbed when we lost our two generals.
Now, honorable colleagues, I think when this parliament sat down and resolved, whether you agreed with the resolution or not, but you resolved that you don't want to limit the age of anyone leading this country. You knew even people of 100 years will present themselves as president. You know, we are the ones who resolved it, so we can't run away from it. Yeah, so President Museveni, we are the ones who allowed him. Let Ugandans either accept or reject him. We leave it. I think the best test for him to know whether he's very okay will be done by Ugandans. Parliament, we don't have any power to do a test on an individual. Yes, Honorable Macho.
Mr. Speaker, I want to thank God. Mr. Speaker, I want to thank God.
You know, colleagues, I told you some time back that issues of Honorable Semju and His Excellency Museveni are like issues of generals. They usually sort themselves. Yeah? But Honorable Semju has referred to the Constitution. The Constitution, I don't know whether it goes to give the parameters of requiring you to subject someone to test and all that. I don't know whether he's proposing we amend the law, we subject them to the test, you know. But the man is doing very well.
I hope umetazama hiyo video na ni nini hasa kinaweza kuzibu taifa jirani ya nchi ya Uganda. Taifa ya jirani ya nchi ya Uganda imekuwa na uchaguzi ambao umefanyika kwa siku 3 ama siku 4 ambazo zimepita, na tumeona ya kwamba kiongozi aliyechaguliwa ama aliyejichagua ni kiongozi ambaye amekuwa kwa miaka takriban 43, sio mwingine bali ni Yoweri Kaguta Museveni. Na Yoweri Kaguta Museveni aliteuliwa na kufuatiwa kwa karibu sana na aliyekuwa kiongozi wa upinzani kwa jina la utani Bobi Wine, ambaye yeye ndiye aliyekuwa mtu wa pili kwa kinyang'anyiro cha uchaguzi nchini Uganda. Lakini mambo yamezidi kuwa mengi na kuchacha kwa uchaguzi uliofanyika, kwa wakisema ya kwamba yeye hakustahiki hicho kiti na hakuweza kupita. Na ni kwa nini kwamba waseme ya kwamba Museveni hakuweza kupita kwa uchaguzi huo? Ni kwa sababu mambo yaliyozidi kutokea nchini Uganda. Tunaona ya kwamba Bobi Wine alitiwa mbaroni na watu wengi, hata wakaweza kuumia na kuweza kuaga dunia, na hicho ndicho kilisababisha hata watu ama nchi jirani zianze kuingilia kama nchi ya USA, kwa maana tuliona hata Donald Trump akizungumza na akisema ya kwamba hicho kiti kwa hakika hakustahiki kukipata sio mwingine bali ni Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, na hicho kiti kilistahiki kupewa yule ambaye alikuwa ni Bobi Wine, kwa maana yeye ndiyo aliyeweza kupita. Na tumeona sio Donald Trump tu peke yake, bali hata anayekuwa the youngest president in Africa ambaye ni Ibrahim Traore, na amesent warning, a big warning to the country of Uganda, saying that Museveni quit the chair or else something will happen in Uganda, because nowadays we are living in a country of democracy, and yet we have a right, and if you lose, don't rig election, because according to the election, it seems like Museveni rigged that election, and that's why he announced himself that he is a winner. And Museveni being a winner, this is the 7th times leading the Uganda since 1980 something there. Museveni ndiye amekuwa kiongozi pale hadi wa sasa, na hizo ni miaka takriban miaka 43 since 1983-84 hapo mpaka sasa. Museveni ndiye amekuwa kiongozi ambaye kwa hakika ni kiongozi ambaye anaongoza nchi ya Uganda kwa mabavu na kwa fujo, kwa maana cabinet yote na watu wakuu ama viti zote za uongozi wa juu ameweza kuteua ambayo ni familia yake. So kumngatua mahali pale kwa hakika nasema ya kwamba ni kitu ambacho hakiwezekani, kwa maana tukiangalia kiongozi wa usalama ama the leader of the army ni mtoto wake ambaye ni kijana yake, na ukiangalia si huyo tu peke yake bali mke wake pia amempa kiti cha juu, na familia kwa jumla ameweza kuwateulia viti vya juu, na ndipo unaona ya kwamba yeye hata kung'oka mali pale kwa hakika ni kitu ambacho hakiwezekani. So Ibrahim Traore kwa hakika ametuma warning kubwa. Je, maoni ya Ibrahim Traore yataweza kusaidia nchi ya Uganda? Na si Ibrahim Traore tu peke yake bali hata Donald Trump, kiongozi wa nchi ya Marekani, pia atoa warning akisema ya kwamba Africans, hakuna uchaguzi ambao unaweza fanyika kwa usalama, ama ni mambo yapi ambayo yanaweza kuendelea. Si nikiongelea tu Afrika, kwa hakika nchi tofauti tofauti ambazo zimekuwa na uchaguzi hivi karibuni, unapoangalia mambo yanazidi kuchacha na mambo yanazidi kujitokeza, ambayo kwa hakika naweza sema kwamba sio mazuri mno, kwa sababu watu wanafanya vitu kwa kifua na hata kusema ya kwamba mimi ni kiongozi na kuna mtu ambaye anaweza kuning'atua kwenye uongozi. Na kumbuka kwamba wanasema no one is above the law, but how comes useme ya kwamba no one can remove me, ama na hakuna mtu ambaye weza kunitoa kwenye hichi kiti, kwa maana mimi nimeweza kufuzu kuwa rais ama kuwa kiongozi wa taifa lolote lile. So Museveni kiti chake kimotoni, na sijui kama mambo yatazidi kuwa mazuri, kwa maana hata kule Uganda mambo yanazidi kuchafuka na mambo yanazidi usalama unazidi kutokuwepo, kwa maana mambo yanazidi kuwa mabaya zaidi. So ni lipi hasa litaweza kufanyika ili nchi ya Uganda iweze kupona? Kwa sababu wamekatana katakata na huo uongozi ama huo ushindi ambao Yoweri Kaguta Museveni aliweza kushinda. Na kama ni mara yako ya kwanza kwa hakika kutazama hii video, nasema tu kwa roho ya upole na ya unyenyekevu kwamba weza kunisupport kwa kusubscribe, kulike na kushare kwa hii video, kisha tuweze kuendelea kupata uchambuzi si Kenya ama si taifa la Uganda peke yake bali barani Afrika, na hivyo itakuwa msaada mkubwa mno kwa kuweza kunisupport. Shukrani kwa kusimama nami, shukrani kwa kutazama hii video. Popote ulipo, Mungu wacha na kakutende mema hadi wakati mwingine tutakapokutana kwenye video inayofuata. Shukrani, uweza kubarikiwa.